What is up, guys? And today I'm going to be going over my top 10 places to visit in Argentina. And this is also alongside Chile, one of the places that Bri and I spent quite a bit of time when we bought a van in South America. We spent 3 months between Chile and Argentina. So I've actually been lucky enough to see most of the country. I actually did not go to the capital, Buenos Aires, but we did go to the north of Argentina, the south, the center, the desert, the mountains. We went everywhere. There's so much to explore. It's an amazing place for adventurers, explorers, outdoor enthusiasts. There's just such a diversity in places to see and things to do. Alright, so first up is SALINAS Grandes, and this is probably the most unique salt flat I've ever been to in my entire life. It's so epic. It looks just like miles and miles of salt flats. These first few shots are in a portion where it's not kind of in the center of it, so that's why it's a little bit murky and a little bit muddy color. But once you're in the center of it, it's just miles and miles of white salt flats, and depending on the time of the year, you know, you might get mirrored reflections, or you might get like kind of the salt cracks, really cool shapes. But what's actually the most unique about this place is these blue pools, and sadly, Bri and I do not speak good Spanish, so our tour guide was not able to translate much to us because she did not speak English. But these pools were one of the coolest things I've ever seen. They made for some incredible photos, some incredible drone shots, and we got really lucky with a super stormy day, so the conditions here were just absolutely out of this world. Alright, next up is Ushuaia, and this is the most southern tip of Argentina and also South America. It is also kind of deemed the end of the world, so if you are road tripping Chile and Argentina or South America, you know, this is kind of the end destination for that. It is the end of the world, and it is also the port to Antarctica. This is probably one of the most heavily trafficked areas if you're going to be taking a cruise to Antarctica. You know, you're going to fly into Ushuaia or Punta Arenas or something like that, and then you're going to hop on your cruise ship, and then you're going to head off to the White Continent, and you're going to be there for normally about 1 to 2 weeks. It's extremely expensive, but nonetheless, Ushuaia is just absolutely beautiful. It's surrounded by mountains. It's got these massive cruise ships coming in and out, taking people out. The city itself is very cute, lots of little shops, lots of boutique places, but it also has everything you need. It's not too small of a town. Really amazing place. All right, and number 3 is going to be PERITO Moreno Glacier, and this glacier is massive. It is unbelievable. It's just outside of El Calafate and just a few hours drive away from El Chalten, which is kind of the Argentinian hub of Patagonia. And this glacier is so freaking insane. We went kayaking here. You get to walk these little kind of boardwalks that they made for tourists, and it's just beautiful. There's so much to see here. The glacier, the front end of it is about 200 feet tall, but it's only about like 25% of the glacier. Below the water is another 600 feet or so, which is just unbelievable. And as far as going backwards, the glacier just goes as far as you can see. So it's really out of this world, and something special about this glacier is that it is a calving glacier, so chunks of the glacier will actually fall off. So if you go on a sunny day, get ready to just kind of watch the glacier for hours. It's one of the most beautiful sights to see, and it's just crazy to see these like 20-foot chunks of ice falling into the water. All right, next up is El Chalten, and if you are an outdoor enthusiast, you probably already know of this place, or if you don't, you probably know of Patagonia. So the brand Patagonia itself, the logo is Fitzroy Skyline, which is the mountains and kind of the skyline of mountains behind the town of El Chalten. El Chalten is the hub for all of the hikes, all of the climbing, all of the outdoor activities. So most people fly to El Calafate, come to El Chalten, and just spend all of their time there because there is so much to do. The hikes are super long. They go from 10 to 15 miles, tons of elevation gain. It's a super gnarly place, but it's so amazing. And the place is just filled with backpackers, climbers, and people who love being outdoors. So it's a really cool community of people, and the views are just out of this world. You know, there's mile-high skyscrapers, there's beautiful, pristine lakes. Like, it's just unbelievable. All right, next up, number 5 is going to be Mendoza, and this is kind of central Argentina, but it is also the area that is also known as Argentina's wine country. It's beautiful little area. You know, Mendoza is a little bit of a city, but on the outskirts, and a big portion on the southeastern side of the city is just more vineyards than you could count. They stretch for so many miles. It is beautiful. If you love wine, this is your spot. Argentina is known for their Malbec and their red wine, but their white wines are also incredible. It's a great place to just rent a bicycle from your little boutique hotel and just kind of hop out, go from vineyard to vineyard. It's definitely not an outdoorsy place, but it is a place to relax, enjoy your time, drink some great wine, eat some great food, and just to have some fun. It's an amazing place. Number 6 is Purmamarca, and for a while we were trying to find this spot and we could not figure out the name of this place because we were told it was Jujuy, which is in northern Argentina, but in Jujuy we got there and there was no rainbow mountains like this, so we were just like, well, this can't be right. And then we kept driving and we came across this place. Purmamarca is unbelievable. It is the craziest desert formations, the most intense jagged ridges of rock, and this just beautiful little kind of village type city backed by all of these freaking crazy colored rainbow mountains. It's so cool. And also all of these shots were kind of on a gloomy day, so I can only imagine what this place looks on a good sunset or golden hour. All right, number 7 is Cueva de los Manos area, and we actually did not go to Cueva de los Manos. It is a little cave with a bunch of handprints, and there's a lot of history behind it. The reason why is because our car couldn't quite make it in the road, and also it just didn't really interest us, to be honest with you. But this entire area around it is breathtaking. There's tons and tons of wildlife. There's so many flamingos, there's salt flats, there's canyons, there's amazing rock climbing. It is a beautiful, beautiful area. There's some amazing hiking, and there's also a few rainbow mountains here that are super, super cool. Like there's yellow rock, pink rock, orange rock, brown rock, and white rock kind of all together. It's actually unbelievable, and it's super, super cool, and it makes for some great photos. I will say this place is pretty out there though, so I would probably only recommend this if you are road tripping and if you have some time to get out there. All right, number 8 is gonna be Laguna Esmeralda and the Marshall Mountains. It's funny because when we were in Ushuaia, we actually thought we were still in the Andes Mountains just because we assumed, you know, the Andes Mountains continued and stretched. But this area, you know, in the super southern tip of Argentina is the Marshall Mountains. And the reason I included Laguna Esmeralda is because it is a super close hike to Ushuaia. It's probably like, you know, a 15-minute drive. And the hike is beautiful. It's just a few miles each way. And it is stunning. You know, these mountains are just massive, and there's just these beautiful forests everywhere, these steep drop-offs as you're driving to Laguna Esmeralda. It's super, super cool. So this mountain range is just really amazing, and we had never heard of it until we got there, so I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, you know, the lake itself, we got to go for sunrise, and it's just this beautiful aqua blue lake backed by these beautiful mountains. It's a really cool place, and definitely a spot to add to your list if you're going to southern Argentina. Next up, number 9 is Villa La Angostura, and this is another place we did not hear about until we got there, but it's super cool. You know, this is the area known for kind of like the 7 lakes, and it definitely deserves the name because we could not keep track of how many lakes that there were and how many we saw, and the mountains around it is just amazing. And it was a really just cool little kind of like mountain town. You know, it felt like we were kind of out in the mountains in like Colorado or in like France or Switzerland or something like that. So the town itself is just really cool. Mainly it's just filled with backpackers and travelers. And then, you know, all of these lakes are super beautiful. There's some amazing beaches with some crystal kind of clear water. It's a really cool place for central Argentina. All right, and last up but not least is Talampaya National Park. And this is kind of bunched in with a few other parks like Ishufagasta. I'm not sure if I said that right, but this kind of area in the desert of Argentina, it's a little bit north central of the country, but it's these amazing big canyons, these cool rock formations, a lot of crazy like white and red desert rock. It reminded me a lot of Utah, but there's just something special about going to a place like this in a new country that is, you know, definitely underrated, not as well known. You know, like Utah, a lot of places, there's a ton of people that know all these spots, but in Argentina, it's just like, you know, you feel like you're really out there in the wild, which is awesome. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little top 10 of Argentina. It's one of the most beautiful countries in the world, so hopefully this video helped if you're visiting. Anyways, I will see you guys later.